Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News, the only show where geopolitics, redneck logic, and a deep suspicion of anything involving acronyms all come together in a glorious casserole of questionable wisdom. Today's news is like somebody blended American history, a Tom Clancy novel, a NASCAR crash reel, and a YouTube conspiracy rabbit hole into one big ol' chaos smoothie. And buddy, we are sipping it through a straw. Segment 1. The Donroe Doctrine and the Great Venezuelan Snatch and Grab. So America woke up this week and said, "Hey y'all, remember the Monroe Doctrine? Yeah, we're supersizing it, deep frying it, and renaming it after Donnie himself, the Donroe Doctrine. Sounds less like foreign policy and more like a discontinued McDonald's sandwich." And then the U.S. straight up yoinked Nicolas Maduro out of Caracas like he was a clearance item at a yard sale. Just swooped in, bagged him, and dropped him in a Manhattan courtroom wearing a blue jumpsuit that screams, "I have regrets." The man declared he is a prisoner of war. I once declared myself king of the Waffle House at 3 a.m. after too much sweet tea, but folks did not respect that sovereignty either. Meanwhile, the administration is telling the world Venezuela's oil now falls under this new Donroe Doctrine umbrella, which is basically a polite way of saying, we licked it, so it's ours. And now Denmark's politely having a meltdown because America's hinting real hard about Greenland again. Leave it to us to invade South America on Saturday and start eyeing the Arctic like it's a BOGO sale on minerals. Segment 2. Middle East Mayhem and the Iran Crisis. Iran is going through the kind of week that makes you want to unplug your router and pray. Protests everywhere, currency collapse, people chanting for freedom, and the government labeling half the country enemies of God. I don't know what God they're talking about, but he probably wants no part of that customer service hotline. Then Trump hops on Air Force One and says he's considering strong options. Anytime a president says that, you just know a whole lot of military folks are putting their helmets on tighter than a jar lid that got stuck in July humidity. Iran says they're prepared for war, which sounds like tough talk, except their whole network of proxies is still busted from the 12-day war last year. It's like bragging that your cousins are going to fight for you when all your cousins are grounded. Segment 3. Welcome to the War Department. Population, everybody. The Pentagon has officially been rebranded the Department of War. Nothing says stable democracy like slapping the word war on all your office supplies. They're putting up new plaques, reprinting stationery, updating databases. Buddy, they spent $2 billion to rename something. For that kind of money, they could have built a whole new branch of the military called the Department of People Who Tell You Not to Do That. Pete Hegseth says the name change ends woke culture in defense. I wasn't aware the word defense had pronouns, but okay. The War Department does sound more metal, though. Like if you heard your cousin got a job there, you'd go, dang. Is he in the military or a heavy metal band? Segment 4. Minneapolis Chaos and the Renee Good Flashpoint. Next up, domestic unrest. And boy, we got it. America is angrier than a possum that found the trash can empty. Renee Good was shot by a federal agent, and depending on whether you listen to the government or literally everyone else, she was either a terrorist trying to run over agents or a mom trying to get away from plainclothes dudes who boxed her in at a school drop-off. There's video, there's counterclaims, there's protests, and there's the White House insisting she was a threat. Meanwhile, legal scholars are popping out like prairie dogs going, that's not how any of this works. Federal agents have poured into Minneapolis like it's the Prohibition era, except instead of bootleggers, the target is everyone with a camera phone. And Vice President J.D. Vance said the agent has absolute immunity. Buddy, the only thing that has absolute immunity is my cousin Randy's digestive system after eating expired chili. Even he's a little scared of the War Department now. Segment 5. The Federal Reserve versus Trump cage match. Now let's talk money, which is something I don't have but love to comment on. The DOJ decided to investigate Fed Chair Jerome Powell. They say it's about building renovations. Powell says it's about intimidation. I say the economy is like a possum crossing the interstate. It doesn't matter who's technically in the right. Somebody's getting flattened. Gold is above $4,600 an ounce, and silver's shooting up too. Meanwhile, the US dollar is weaker than my New Year's resolutions. Bitcoin is partying like your cousin at a wedding where the bar forgot to check IDs. Inflation is still up. Mortgage rates are still painful. And America's new housing plan feels like trying to fix a busted transmission with duct tape and hope. If this keeps going, my family's going to be living in a shed. We list as rustic, minimalist micro-housing. Segment 6. Space lasers, AI labs, and India making everyone nervous. India launched a satellite called Anvesha that can spot camouflaged targets from orbit. The thing can basically see through bushes, disguises, and probably my cousin Earl's hunting blind. Goodbye, privacy. Hello. Oh no, they saw me pick my nose. They also launched a Spanish re-entry capsule and an on-orbit refueling payload because apparently India is now the pit crew of outer space. Meanwhile, NVIDIA and Eli Lilly teamed up for $1 billion AI drug lab. $1 billion just to make AI good at medicine. Meanwhile, my AI-powered toaster still burns bread so bad it looks like it was punished for war crimes. Segment 7. Culture wars, healthcare panic, and the NFL being the only stable government. South Carolina is trying to classify abortion as homicide. That's right. The state where every gas station sells boiled peanuts is now debating something so intense it makes a bonfire look subtle. The bill stalled, but folks are still protesting, and the party can't decide whether they're tough on everything or maybe please don't scare the voters. Meanwhile, nearly 5 million people are about to lose health care because Congress didn't renew subsidies, which means America's unofficial new insurance plan is Google plus prayer. And while all that is happening, the Golden Globes gave Best Editing to the Justice Department for the Epstein Files joke, which, let's be honest, was the only truthful award of the night. Avatar 6, or whatever, is smashing box office numbers like it's trying to win custody of cinema itself. But thank goodness for the NFL, which gave America 4 playoff games decided by 4 points or less. It was the closest thing we've had to national unity since Pizza Hut released the stuffed crust. The Bears beat the Packers, the Rams squeaked by the Panthers, the Niners won but lost George Kittle. Truly, chaos everywhere. Even our distractions are stressful. In conclusion, as of mid-January 2026, America is juggling foreign raids, domestic protests, turf wars between branches of government, a rebranded War Department, markets that panic every time Trump tweets the word rates, and global crises that make 2020 look like a lazy Sunday. But don't worry. Poorly Educated will be right here, giving you the full rundown with the accuracy of a busted weather vane and the enthusiasm of a raccoon discovering a Mountain Dew fountain. Stay tuned, stay poorly educated, and remember, if the War Department starts installing metal skull logos, I called it first.